Shabbat Shalom, family. Glory and honor to our Father Yahweh, the creator of heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, the creator of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the children of Jacob who became the nation of Israel. Glory and honor to his name, and to his son, Messiah, Yahweh Shah, the Mashiach, the anointed of all anointings, the firstborn of every creature, and the firstborn from the dead, the only high priest, and the soon returning king of the kingdom given to him from his father. Glory and honor to the name of Mashiach, Yahweh Shah. Greetings to the 12 tribes, as aforementioned, from the Father Yahweh, his chosen ones, scattered into the four corners of the earth because our fathers worshipped other gods, but who are now returning to their God and to the word of the Father and to obedience through the perfect righteousness given from the Father through Messiah Yahweh Shah. Greetings. And to the 144,000 among them, who are the forerunners of the return of Messiah and the establishment of the kingdom. Greetings. And to all the precious Gentiles and the brothers and sisters from the children of Yafet, the children of Ham, and the children of Shem, that are now of the bloodline and yet saved through the blood of Messiah Yahweh Shah, the perfect righteousness given through him from the Father. Greetings. Greetings to the chat. Manny, Only One Way, Brother Castle King, Sister Najia Wade, Isha Shama, and Brother Frankie, Sister Cross, Brother Gary Joseph, GD Yafree, Diamond Holding, Superstar, Brother Stephen Kelly, and Brother Brandon Beckman, and all others. Greetings. We have been studying Genesis, and as we have noted, we went through the first 5 days of creation, very powerful, as you would imagine, very powerful. Today we go to the crowning achievement of Father's creation, the creation of man and mankind, which is man and woman. We're going to deal with those and the importance of those. You know, it's interesting. There is a diet that is in existence, and it is termed the lion diet. Now, why do I mention a diet? I'm not suggesting any diet at this point, but I'm just trying to use it as an illustration. This lion diet is based on the diet of a lion. And the reason people named it that, based on the diet of a lion, is because people feel like mankind was made to eat like a lion. There's another diet where people eat, and they say that they eat like they claim our ancestors ate as cavemen, because they said was what we really was originally, millions of years ago. Then there was a diet, which I also had one point tried or had been practicing a long time, not at this time, but I did, is a fruitarian diet, because people said that apes were more like apes, and apes eat fruit. So we're supposed to eat more like the animals. All of these diets are based on men saying we're like animals. But the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says that, in fact, let's read it. It's in the thumbnail also, but let's read it anyway. Psalms 8, the 8th division of Psalms. The 8th division of Psalms. This is what it says in the 8th division of Psalms. Let's start from verse 1 and go down to verse 9. What does the 8th division of Psalms tell us about our origin? Does it say we're supposed to be like lions? Does it say we were cavemen? Does it say we're supposed to be like the animals? Well, what does it say? Psalms 8, beginning at verse 1. O Yahweh, our master, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, who has set thy glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger. When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, What is man that thou art mindful of him? And the Son of Man that thou visitest him? For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor. I'd say that's a bit higher than a lion, wouldn't you? I'd say that's a bit higher than an animal, right? He says, thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and has crowned him with glory and honor. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, yea, and the beasts of the field, the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passeth through the paths of the seas. O Yahweh, our master, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. So, people try to make nature God. But the Father made us a little lower than his angels and gave us dominion over the planet Earth, so that we have things that animals don't have. We have an understanding. We have a wisdom. We have a thought process that's higher than what animals have. Psalms 33, which we read the other night, but let's read some more. Psalms 33, because we saw in Psalms 33 the basis by which, at least in the first 5 days, the Father, through Messiah, made the earth. It teaches us this in Psalms 33. So let's look at Psalms 33, beginning at verse 1 and reading down to verse 22. Psalms 33 from verse 1 to verse 22. Rejoice in Yahweh, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise Yahweh with harp, sing unto him with psaltery, and an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. For the word of Yahweh is right, and all his works are done in truth. Let's stop for a second. So if you're going to be a follower of the God that this book is talking about, if you're going to be a follower of him, if you're going to say you believe in him, you must also believe what we just read. For the word of Yahweh is right, and all his works, all are done in truth. No falsehood, no lies, no mistakes. So somebody might rightly ask, and I'm trying to help, because look, why am I trying to help? I'm ordained to teach the word of the Father by his Spirit. And my goal is to teach a whole bunch of other people that they could also be teachers for the Father by his Spirit. As Moses said, would to Yah that all his children, all his men were prophets and had his Spirit in them. That's the goal. So I'm trying to teach some of y'all something here. Somebody might ask you, well, how come there's evil in the world if God is right? How come there's evil in the world, and how come there's liars in the world if he's a God of truth? What is our answer? Because men chose lies and chose evil. That's why evil exists. Men choose it. They chose evil and lies above this God. That's why it exists. You see? We chose it. Okay? And once the cat was out the bag, it's out of control. But the Father has set up a situation whereby he sent a representative of himself to bring those children that wants to come back to him. That is Mashiach, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. You could answer them that when they ask you that question, to say, where is God? Yesterday? No, it was today. A man called 911. Police came, and the man was sitting on his porch, and his 3 little boys were shot dead between the front yard and his house. He had killed all of them. And he was going to kill his wife. His wife got shot, but she got away. See? Now somebody's out there saying, where was God when he was doing that? It's hard truth though, isn't it? Man chose this. Mankind chose it above the Father. And this is what happens. Unfortunately, the death of those three young boys was tragic. But we chose it. Let's continue. Verse 5. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of Yahweh. By the word of Yahweh were the heavens made. By the word of Yahweh were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. He gathereth the waters of the sea together as a heap. He layeth the depth in storehouses. Let all the earth fear Yahweh. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. So how were things made? In the first 5 days of creation, he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. You see, brethren, that's why Messiah say he's going to fight against our enemies with the sword of his mouth, because he can speak, and it's done. He can command, and it stands fast, or ceases to exist, because Father has given it to him as he is representative of the word of the Father. Isn't that powerful? Let's continue. Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the device of the people of none effect. The counsel of Yahweh standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose most high is Yahweh, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. Yahweh looketh from heaven, he beholdeth all the sons of men. From the place of his habitation he looketh upon all the inhabitants of the earth. He fashioneth their hearts alike. He considereth all their works. There is no king save by the multitude of a host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. A horse is a vain thing in safety, for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of Yahweh is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waiteth for Yahweh, for he is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Yahweh, be upon us, according as we hope in thee. Praise the Most High. So we can see the Father speaks a word. First of all, the Bible tells us that word is right and it's truth. He also says here that word stands forever, doesn't change. Praise the Most High. So now we see that he spoke everything into existence, that he just spoke it, and there it was. He said, let there be. There it was. But with man, it was different. Let's take a look. Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1, going back to the beginning, where we're studying the origin of all things. Genesis chapter 1. And let's start at verse 24, where we're starting now the sixth day. Verse 24, the sixth day. And Yah said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And Elohim made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And Yah saw that it was good. And Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So let's stop here. This is the only time where he didn't just say, like he said here, let the earth bring forth. Or he said in the fifth, he said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. Or let the firmament, let the light bring forth. He didn't say that here. He said, let us make man. This was different. Let's skip down, because we're on the subject, to chapter 2. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 6. Chapter 2, verse 6. That's the only verse we need here, 6 and 7. Chapter 2, verse 6 and 7. We'll go right back to chapter 1. Genesis chapter 2, verse 6 and 7. But there went, verse 7. Verse 7, not verse 6 and 7, verse 7. And Yahweh Most High formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. So what do we have here? He didn't just say, let man exist. He formed him. What am I saying? This was more personal than everything else he created. This was more personal. This was more one-on-one. You see, he said, I formed him with his hands. I breathed into him. He didn't do that with anything else that we saw. Everything else we saw, he said, let it be. But with man, he said, I formed him and I breathed into him. Now, let's make a point here. Very important point. He formed him of the dust of the ground. Okay, so where did the dust come from? We saw that he made the earth. Remember that? He made the water. First thing, there was a big, giant puddle of water. And then he said, let the dry land appear from the water, right? That was back in the, where is this? This was the third day. It was the third day. He said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place and let the dry land appear. And he said, and he called the dry land earth and gathered together the waters called the seas. And he saw that it was good. And he said, let the earth bring forth grass and so on and so forth. So the dirt came out in the third day. So he took that dirt and he formed man. But that wasn't it. He breathed into man his spirit. And because he breathed into him, man, as a result of being formed of the earth, the land, and having the Father's breath breathed into him, he became a living soul. So if man was made from a recipe, the recipe would be the earth being formed by the Father into an image, and then a breath being breathed into that man. And the ingredients would make a living soul. So the breath of the Father caused bones and muscles and sinews and veins, and most of all, blood, to be going all through man. And that was made of the dirt, and we know also now the water. Now, this is the ingredients that made man. Let's say you take away one of those ingredients. Let's say you take away the body. Do you have a living soul? Or you took away the breath that he breathed in man. Do you have a living soul? No, you don't. So you need the combination of both to have a living, breathing soul. The breath came from the Father. So when the Father's ready to take that breath from us, it goes back to him. It is not an independent living thing that can think and speak. It's breath that goes back to him. So that when a person is not a living soul, they become what? A dead soul. Because generally speaking, the dead soul is the body absent of the breath that the Father gave it. So that's why there's no such thing as dead people walking around the earth. Because without the Father's breath, they're dead. And the spirit that the Father takes is not a person. It's his breath, and it goes back to him. So many people are believing in dead souls walking. That's why you got these zombies and all these stuff, Night of the Living Dead and all that. It's impossible because of what the word tells us. A person that's dead is dead. Now, supposing you see a dead person, is the Father's word of none effect? What are you seeing when you see the dead person? What are you seeing when you see the dead person? If the Father say, I make my breath and the ground together to be a living soul, and he took his breath and that person died, what are you seeing? You're seeing devils in the form of men. That's what you're seeing. Let's take a look at an example of that in 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel. Chapter 28. 1 Samuel chapter 28, when Saul went to go visit the witch of Endor. 1 Samuel chapter 28. And pay very close attention here because millions of people get deceived like this every single day. Okay? But because we have the word of the Father, we don't have to be deceived. Read your Bible. 1 Samuel chapter 28. I'm going to begin at verse 6. Okay? I'm going to begin at verse 6. Verse 6 is very important. Let's read verse 6 of 1 Samuel chapter 28. And when Saul inquired of Yahweh, Yahweh answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Now, first, let's stop here. So when Saul would inquire of the Father, the Bible says the Father did not answer him, didn't give him a dream, didn't send him a prophet. Urim means light, didn't give him light or understanding. Urim means light, didn't give him light, didn't give him understanding, didn't give him a dream, didn't give him a prophet. Urim means light. Urim and Tumim. Urim means light and Tumim means truth. For example, you remember Abraham came out of Ur. It's from the same word, Ur of the Chaldees. That place was called light. It was a pagan place, and they thought it was light, right? They thought it was light. So Urim means light. Tumim means truth. Okay, so the Father was not giving him light, which means an understanding, wasn't giving him spirit of the a prophet coming to him, wasn't giving him a dream. Father was not talking to him. Okay, all right. So now we have an understanding here. Father was not communicating with Saul. Okay, we got that? Let's keep going. Verse 7. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. Now, if the Father is not answering him, what is the familiar spirit of this woman? The Father is not talking to him. What is the familiar spirit of this woman? It's right. It's Asatan. It's a devil. Okay? Because the Bible just testified. Father wasn't talking to him. Okay? And it mentioned prior to that, actually, in verse 3 of the same chapter, that is 1 Samuel 28, verse 3. Now Samuel was dead. Samuel was what? Samuel was dead. And all Israel had lamented him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. So he got rid of all the familiar spirits and the wizards. But there was this one woman still there, and he was now looking for her. Because why? Because the Most High was not talking to him. Didn't give him a dream. Didn't give him his spirit of understanding. Didn't give him a prophet. And Samuel was dead. So they said, there's this woman and she has a familiar spirit. So we've already established now the father's spirit wasn't talking to Saul. So who is this familiar spirit? It is the witch of Endor, of a devil. Okay. Verse 8. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment and went and to 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards are out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life to cause me to die? Right? So now Saul had gotten rid of all the familiar spirits. So she wasn't going to give him no witchcraft. But then, verse 10, and Saul swore to her by Yahweh. He swears by the Most High, saying, as Yahweh liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Okay. Okay. Verse 11. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel. Now, so far, we already know the Most High is not talking to him. So whoever she's bringing up is not from the Most High. Whatever spirit she's using, we know is from Asatan. There's only 2 spirits operating on planet Earth. It's Father's spirit and Asatan's spirit. That's all. So if she's not bringing up Father's spirit, she's bringing up Asatan's spirit. Now watch this now. Verse 12. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. So Saul didn't see nothing. The woman saw the spirit. Y'all see that? Saul didn't see nothing. His men didn't see nothing. But she saw the spirit, and the devil told her, that's Saul. Verse 13. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? See, he's asking her, what did you see? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. Who did she see? She saw devils. Okay, she saw devils, demonic spirits. And that's what people that do necromancy, crystal balls, tarot cards, Ouija boards, they're seeing, if they see something, it's a spirit of one of Asatan's angels that you're seeing. Matter of fact, y'all heard about the aliens they saw the other day? Man saw the aliens. If he actually saw something, tell me, what did he see? Did he see the Most High? What did he see? We know what he saw. He saw devils. Yeah. And you're going to see a lot more of that going forward. You're going to see a lot more of that going forward. Okay. Okay. Let's go back. So now we understand that when the Most High takes the breath of a man away, that man is dead. He's asleep. And he doesn't know anything. He has no sense of time. That's why when the Bible says, and Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, when he said to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. Y'all saw that one? To be absent from the body. And that's why Christians say, well, he's going to be with the Lord. He ain't going nowhere. To be absent from the body means this. That means you are unconscious. You have no consciousness of anything. You're dead. Now, when you have no consciousness of anything, you have no consciousness of time. Does that make sense? There's no consciousness of time. The Bible says there's no love, there's no hatred, there's no emotion, there's no consciousness. Why is that important? You could have been dead 1,000 years, but to you, it's a split second. Does that make sense? So you close your eyes in death, you could have been dead 1,000 years, but the next thing you see is a resurrection. That's the next thing you see. Whether it's the first or the second resurrection, but that's the next thing you see. The dead people that you see that have died, your family, your friends, people that have died, those 3 poor little boys that got shot by their father today, to them, they just died. And they woke up and like that. Because there's no sense of time. Okay, you understand it. So when he said to be absent with the body, to be present with the Messiah, it's true because there's no sense of time. And the next person he sees when he opens his eye, the minute his breath is gone, Paul was beheaded. The minute his breath was gone, the next face he sees is Messiah. So when he is awakened in the resurrection, he will not know that he's been dead for almost 2,000 years. To him, it was just like that. Twinkling of an eye, a split second. See? So for all dead persons, they don't know how long they've been dead. Again, I liken it to when if you worked really hard, you had a hard day's work, and you fall, you're so tired, you just come to your bed and you fall out. And you wake up, right? You wake up and it's dark and you can't see the clock. You don't know how long you were sleeping until you look at the clock or you look outside. You don't know how long you've been sleeping, right? Or a person that's been in a coma. When they come out the coma, they'll ask the question, how long have I been in the coma? Because they don't know how long. What do you remember? The last thing I remember is this, and then I don't remember anything. That's like death. That's exactly like death. See, that's what the Bible is telling us. So the person that dies when the breath is gone, they have no consciousness. They don't know how long they're going to be dead, but to them is a split second. Everybody that you know that died, your loved ones or whoever, they might have died a long time ago, don't worry. To them, they just died. Just like a split second ago. And when they waken, then they're going to be, how long was I dead? They won't know. Okay. Isn't that amazing? But there's no sense of time with death. And there's nobody that's walking around the earth that has died. Anybody you see that was dead, that you see walking around the earth, you already know now who that is. Okay. You already know who that is. Okay. Back to Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1. Let's go back there now. Let's go back to verse 26 where Messiah and the Father Elohim said, let us make man after our image. Genesis chapter 1, beginning at verse 26. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So the Most High Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Male and female created he them. And Yah said, Yah blessed them, and Yah said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Now look, the dominion that man had. See, you ever see museums where they have the bones of prehistoric animals and you see these giant animals with giant bodies and giant heads and giant teeth. And you want to say, how did man survive and they didn't? Right? They're so big and powerful. Or you see, the thing is, the difference between man and all of the other creation is Father, first of all, he declared that man should have dominion. He made the declaration, right? Secondly, he gave man a brain that's more advanced than any animal. He gave man a level of intelligence and understanding that no animal was given. Animals do things based on instinct, period. They'll mate a certain time of year. They have children. They have offspring a certain time of year. They eat a certain type of food. They do this by instinct. For example, a deer is a vegetarian. When a deer is starving, and I've seen it, they'll eat the bark off trees. But if there's a dead animal, they will not eat it because they're not made to eat that. You understand? So they're not made to eat flesh or to eat a dead animal. They will eat bark off trees. They'll eat grass. They'll eat fruits. They'll eat all kind of vegetation, but the deer will not eat a dead animal. It will die first because it's not made to do that. Versus a vulture. A vulture won't eat anything that's alive. A vulture needs it to be dead for it to eat it. See? A snake don't care either. See? But they're made this way. Instinct. Man is made intelligently. He's made with a level of understanding. We are made so that we can reason and think. Father gave us that. We can reason and think and decide. Animals can have some little bit of that, but not like us. That's what causes man to have dominion over them. He's smarter. He's more intelligent. He can think. He can reason. Animals can't do that. Okay, which is why man can dominate the animals in the animal kingdom to the point where he can make some of them be extinct. Genesis chapter 1. Let's start at verse 28 again. And Yah blessed them, and Yah said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And Yah said, behold, watch this, behold, verse 29, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth. And every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. So mankind, upon his creation, his diet consisted of things that bore seeds and fruit that also bore seeds. That was man's original diet. And that's why I didn't start becoming a fruitarian when I did, because apes ate fruit. I saw that and I said, well, my original diet was fruit. I'm going to eat fruit. Of course, I've learned through the intelligence the Father has given me that what fruit he made for Adam is not the same fruit I'm getting in this day and age. The fruit that Adam got was the original fruit with its original nutrition, with its original power from the Father, in an earth that was much purer than what we have today. Not only is the earth been corrupted today, but you and I know men have been mingling the seeds of different fruits and vegetables to create new stuff. Isn't that correct? There's things that exist now because of the combination of seeds scientists have mingled and grow. And then they've created different varieties of fruits where they make them sweeter than they were originally was. They add more sugar to it. So everything has been corrupted by man on the earth. You see, the dominion that was given to us when we turned to become our own gods, Satan taught us how to mess with the chemistry and destroy ourselves. Isn't that amazing? He taught us how to mess with the chemistry and destroy ourselves. Because that's what we do. We mix the seeds of different plants, different flowers, different vegetables, different fruits, and we come up with new stuff, and it's not the original, and we eat it, and it messes with us, and we get sick. And it took me a long time to realize that. I couldn't just eat the fruit the way Adam ate it, because it's not the same fruit. It's not the same. Okay? In fact, as we are very well aware, nothing on the earth at this point is the same as it was then. Nothing is the same. Nothing is the same. It's all been corrupted. All been corrupted. You do the best that you can with the what? Intelligence that the Father gives you. Do the best that you can in terms of diet with the intelligence that the Father gives you. Right? That's right. That's right, Stephen Kelly. And it took me a long time to even believe that, Stephen Kelly. What Stephen Kelly just said is true. Stuff with no seeds in it is a man-made created thing that's not from the Father. It has no seeds. We saw that he told Adam and Eve, you can eat everything that has herb-bearing seeds. So if you see a seedless watermelon, you see a seedless watermelon. And when you eat bananas that has been shipped in here from Dole, they don't have no seeds in it. Whereas if you get it in some countries where man hasn't touched it, you go to a foreign country where man hasn't touched it, you go to a tropical area like in the Colombia or in Philippines or in some place like that, you'll see seeds in the fruit. All the fruit. Yeah, the original bananas have seeds, and they're not as sweet as the ones we get now. This is especially true in the most developed nations. It's the most developed nations. This is especially true. There are foods that are sold in the United States that other countries will not allow you to have. They won't sell it. Okay, they won't sell it. There are things that even some animals won't touch. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So you can know, but we have been programmed and brainwashed so that when you think of a fruit, you go to, like in Africa, I have not been there, but people have told me and I've seen videos. The oranges are not really bright orange. Y'all see that? It's not orange. It's yellow or it's green even. But here, they're orange. Why? Man has bred it like that. He has bred it like that. Okay. And now they got to tell you, okay, does this milk have antibiotics? Well, they won't say it. They'll just say it's milk. But the milk that doesn't have it will say this milk has no antibiotics. The cows will fed grass. It's got to tell you that. Otherwise, it's got anything in it. Okay. It's really, honestly, it's hard to find real food. It really is. I'm not even joking. It's hard to find real food. And when you find real food, it's expensive. I mean, real food that hasn't been touched, hasn't been mingled with the seeds, animals, different seeds, has been fed, drugs and stuff. It's expensive. It's expensive. Yeah, even if you grow it, it's, you got to get the right conditions and all that too. But it's expensive. When you get real food, it's very expensive. Most people, matter of fact, my wife and I feel blessed because it's just us when we don't have our children to take care of no more, and it's just us. So when we can afford, to get the best type of food that we can afford, and we was talking about if we had to raise our kids like this with the expense of these foods, man, it's hard, man. But this is what man has done to the food. Yeah, it's really hard, especially in the United States. Like I said, you go to other countries. Like brother was telling me, he went to, I think he went to Nicaragua, and he said he saw the fish come right out of the blue water. That fish was alive 10 minutes before he ate. And he said it was fresh. Another brother said in Panama, he went and he said he walked to the beach and the fisherman had just come out the water, caught the fish, and sold it to him. That's fresh. Okay. See, it's hard. And then the waters there are not as polluted as the waters where we are. You understand? So it's hard to find real. I mean, and y'all understand what I'm saying? It's hard to find real food, and most food that's been packaged up, it's not even real food. It's not real, man. The processed stuff is not even real food. Today, you know, my wife and I, we usually, we try to get some chicken from the supermarket. Should have known, right? We got chicken from the supermarket. So today I thought I was doing something. I bought the chicken wings that was not breaded. So we didn't want the breading on it. So we bought chicken wings not breaded. So I bought the chicken wings in a box home from Publix. And I wasn't real hungry today. So I ate a few chicken wings and I was done. My wife was eating and she said, man, I don't know why I can't stop eating it. Now, when you find yourself not being able to stop eating something, what's going on is the chemical within your body that tells you to stop, that you've had enough, is turned off. And it's turned off because something's in the food that's causing it to be turned off. That's what happens. Like when you ever notice, like I noticed myself when I was eating donuts, I could eat a whole dozen donuts and not feel full. And yet I ate a lot of calories, but I didn't feel full because the sugar, the processed sugar and the processed flour in that donut turned off my senses and I didn't have any idea I was full. And I just kept eating. That's right. Same with pizza. So when she said that, I said, Mommy, let's look at the ingredients. And it's funny, since we've been in Florida, a whole year, we've been buying chicken this place every Friday. And it hit when she said, she said, I can't stop eating. I said, wait, what? I said, what's in this chicken? And she started reading these ingredients, and brethren, halfway through, both of us was like, I said, no, I can't even buy the chicken no more. Because now I know. See, before I knew, I didn't say anything, right? But now I just thought it because it wasn't breaded. It wasn't breaded. They baked it. Okay, it's good. No, they put dextrose in there. Brown sugar was in there. They had, and beware when they put 3 different times in the ingredients list, natural flavor. I was like, oh, shoot, man. And I said, man, we can't eat this chicken no more. It's not even real. But they put the stuff, I don't know what this is. And that's why she could not stop eating it. She said, I can't. She said, I gotta get more of this. I was like, wait, what? read the label on that thing. Because whenever that happens, I was like, wait a minute, something's in there. Because usually, like, I will get an organic grass-fed ribeye. Now, it costs a lot of money now. It does. But I'll buy it because I can afford to do it. And when I eat that ribeye, I don't want nothing else to eat. That's it. That is it. I mean, no potatoes, no nothing. I just eat the ribeye, well done. Maybe have some salad with it. And I am full. And it's not a huge ribeye. It might be 6 ounce, 8 ounce ribeye, but I'm done. That's it. I'm done. It's because you know why? My body said you had enough. That's it. You had enough. But when you're eating something with sugar and processed stuff and natural flavors in it, you won't feel full for long. You won't feel full at all. I mean, before I knew all this, I could eat a whole apple pie and not feel full. I mean, a big apple pie and not feel full. Be satisfied for a little while, then start getting hungry again. And then ate 2,500 calories just in the apple pie. You understand? So yeah, man. I mean, shoot. But see, that's how hard it is to find real food. That's how hard it is to find real food. It's hard. It's difficult. You got to really look hard and you got to pay a lot of money to get real food. Okay. It's amazing. Okay. Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. Let's read from verse 29 down to 31. And Yah said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Now look what he gave the beast, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. So he gave the animals the green vegetation to eat. That was their food. Green vegetation was their food. Okay, this is before they started eating each other, right? After sin, they started eating each other. Verse 31. And Yah saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Now, let's go over the making of the woman, right? Because we went over the making of the man. Let's go over the making of the woman, and we'll come back again to the seventh day. Okay, so in the sixth day, he made man and woman. So we saw how he made man. Let's go with the woman now. I'm going to start at verse 18. Start at verse 18, and I'm going to read from verse 18 and go down to verse 25. This is Genesis chapter 2, from verse 18 to 25. This is the woman. This is the creation of the woman. And Yahweh Most High said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him and help meet for him. And out of the ground, Yahweh Most High formed every beast of the field. Out of the ground, he formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all the cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an help meet for him. And Yahweh Most High caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahweh Most High had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. And the word woman there is ish and isha. Isha is woman or wife. Ish is man or husband. That's what it means in Hebrew. So in Hebrew it's isha. Isha could be woman or it could be wife. Ish is man or it can be husband. The same thing. So he said it was taken from ish, it became isha. Okay. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. So the Most High made a woman for a man. Now, this is deep in many levels, as you already know. But of course, because of sin, our gene pool has been corrupted. Just as man has corrupted the food, man and woman themselves have been corrupted. So that now you have men and women being born with different types of issues, physical issues, mental issues, different issues, right? Both in terms of blindness or deafness or not being able to speak, deformities, or again, a man not having a natural inclination toward a woman, but to another man, or a woman being born not having a natural inclination to a man, but to another woman. These things happen. I know there were people that deny it. God doesn't make people like that. No, he didn't make Adam like that. But what happened? We chose it. When we sinned against Yah and decided we were going to be God, we chose that. Okay, we chose that. All of us did. Okay, Adam chose it for us, but we're all Adam's children. All of us are. Okay, we're his descendants. So, woman was originally, though, made from the side of a man. So she came out of the man's body. Okay, she came out of the man's body. The man came directly from the Father. That is why the Bible says that the Father is the head of the man, but the man is the head of the woman, because the man was made by the hand of the Father directly from the ground. The woman was made out of the flesh of the man from the Father. Okay. He made her from the man's flesh. Right. He made her from the man's flesh. So she was made from the man. So she was ordained to be someone to help the man, to be a benefit to the man, to be a blessing to the man. And the man, being that he was made above her, is supposed to be her protector, her provider. As man depends on the Father to protect and to provide for him and guide him, the woman should be able to depend on the man to protect, provide for her. Problem is, of course, because of sin, this has gotten all messed up, out of order, all out of order, completely out of order. Okay, completely out of order. And so the only way it gets brought back into order is when we are born again. So when we're born again, if you're a woman and you're born again, that means your spirit is now being given from what the Father originally had you to have. The light that he covered Adam and Eve with, he is now putting in you, woman. And really, if it's his will, he's going to have you for a man. But you might go your whole life and never find a man, because there's not many out there that are born of the Father's Spirit, that are made, that you are made for. There could be, but nobody's to say. That's between Father Yah and the woman. There could be a man that she's made for, and she won't have to look far. He will be brought to you, or you will be brought to him, because you've been made for him. My wife and I often talk about that. You know, when I was little, she was little, we didn't know each other. Some people grow up together when they become man and wife. We didn't know each other. And so I didn't meet her until I was 22, 23. But all the years before that, we was one part of the world, she was another part of the world, and we did not know that the Father made us for each other. We had no idea. But he brought us together when it was time. So, woman, if he has you made for a man, he will bring you to that man. Now, man, if you are born again of the Father's Spirit, you want to take care of a woman, and you're made. A woman is made from you, for you. You might find her, you might not. But if you do, if she's there, if she's out there and the Father has made her for you, she'll be presented to you. I know that's hard, especially in this day and age where it's so easy to look online, right? My wife and I didn't have that. I'm glad. I'm very happy we didn't have the ability to look online and find each other that way, because now we know it was the Father's Spirit. Today, it's got to be a hard thing, because there's so much. I can't imagine. There's so much out there for you to matchmaking and all that. When I was young, it was it was in the paper. They had people looking for men looking for women in the paper, and they'd have numbers for you to call in the paper. But nowadays, it's like everything is online. You can put character traits and everything, and they'll spit you out what's supposed to happen or whatever. And I've met most of the people that I've met, I'd say in the last 10 to 15 years, have met online. Most of the people that I know that are married or together have met online. I don't think I've met people that, there's not many today that grow up together, or that by chance, as it were, run into each other or introduced. Most of the time it's online. Okay. But I've seen people that, they seem happy and they belong together. So I can't judge it, but I'm glad that I didn't have to go through that. I'm glad that my wife and I, the Most High brought us together. And I'm glad it happened that way. And I pray for all of you that are looking for the spouse whether you're a woman looking for a man or a man looking for a woman, I pray that the Father would prepare you and then have you connect with that person when it's time. Okay, but make sure you're praying extremely hard. I know when I met my wife, I began praying 4 times every day and more. And I wasn't counting. I just kept getting an urge to pray because I was so scared I might have been making a mistake, or if it was a me and it wasn't the Father. And I kept praying and praying and praying. And he kept giving me signs of assurance after signs of assurance. And finally, after the last one he gave me, I said, okay, I'm going to go forward. And after that, I didn't look back. So that by the time we got married, my brother was my best man. We were sitting in the pastor studying. The pastor said, "You are awfully calm. This is the first time you get married." And I was young. I think I was 22, like I said, 22, 23. And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You're awfully calm." And I said, like 4 months ago, it came to me that this is it. And I stopped questioning, and that was it. And so I'm ready. See, I came to that conclusion after praying so much. Now, since then, both of us have had much prayer to make sure we made the right decision. But 39 years later, I think we can say it was the right decision. Praise the Most High. But for those of y'all that are out looking for or wanting that spouse, please pray hard, pray much, and seek the Father's will so that you're ready and that spouse is ready and you're ready for each other. I will say this: the Father will make that evident to you when you're really open to him, like we did. And I can tell you, if you have a type, a physical type that you like, it's not going to be that. If you have a checklist that's yours, throw it away. Not going to work. If you're seeking the Father's will and his glory, that's what you're looking for. And you're looking for somebody else that's seeking the Father's will and his glory. Now, not every 2 people that loves the Father and wants his will and glory should be together. The one that's for you is going to be loving the Father and seeking his will and his glory. And he's going to make sure that you both know that you're supposed to be together. But it will not be what you would have picked for yourself, because if it was, you wouldn't need the Father. My wife had a type and I wasn't her type. And I had not thought about no Puerto Ricans. I was not thinking about no Puerto Ricans. Okay. But here we are. Here we are. Praise the Most High. See, that's how it is. That's how it is. Praise the Most High. Okay. Well, I think we'll start on the Shabbat tomorrow. The 7th day, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll go through chapter 2 again tomorrow. And it's important enough for us to do that, to go back through chapter 2, even though we read a lot of it today in the context of Shabbat. We need to go through that again. Okay. Praise the Most High. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Oh, by the way, I got hired this week. My little testimony. I got hired this week. I did. The Most High did do what he showed me last Friday, and I got a job this week, and I got hired. Praise the Most High. So thank you for your prayers. Those of you that were praying, I appreciate that. But yes, he did get me a job. I got official word yesterday, and final paperwork from yesterday and today. They'll let me know when to officially start. I suppose it's going to be in a week or so. But yeah, praise the Most High. So he did give me a new job. So I was unemployed. Check this out. I was unemployed for 40 days. Isn't that amazing? I was unemployed for 40 days. There you go. So there you go. Praise the Most High. Appreciate that, Brother Castle King. No, isn't that amazing? But like I said, that what happened last Friday was showing me. He showed me. I prayed. I said, "Am I doing something? Did I mess up? Show me if I messed up." And then he had Sister Violet call with this dream, and I said, "Okay, now I know I didn't mess up. He's got it in his time. In 40 days, he had it. There it is." Praise the Most High. Oh, please pray. Couple of prayers. Pray for Brother Walters. It's your cousin, Brother Walter, your nephew. Brother Walter had a family member in a very serious car accident this past week. Very serious, life-threatening. And they're in the hospital and they're doing everything. They're doing everything they can to help her. She was in a very bad car accident, mother of two. And she was in a very bad car accident. Can you share her name, Brother Walter, again? Share her name. You did tell me, and I'm sorry, I forgot. Share her name, Brother Walter. What is her name? Yeah, she's in a coma. That's right. Very bad car wreck. Car flipped over. Nicole. That's right. Pray for Nicole. The car flipped over, and she was in a bad situation. There, please pray for her. And then brother, he's not here tonight, Lion of Judah, Brother Lonnie. Some of you remember Brother Lonnie and Sister Joyce. They gave their testimony at the retreat. He had a stroke soon after they left the retreat. He had a stroke, and he was in the hospital, and they said he had a series of mini strokes. Yeah, but he's recovering. He's recovering. He's home from the hospital. I think he's home, and Sister Joyce is taking care of him. But please keep Brother Lonnie. He's Lion of Judah. Keep Brother Lonnie in your prayers as well. You remember Sister Joyce gave her testimony. Brother Lonnie gave his testimony at the Memorial Day weekend, and so please remember them also in your prayers. Yeah, the Most High is doing. He was giving rejoice. He told me to let y'all know that yes, he's doing better though. They're giving him rehab now, but he's doing much better. That's right. That's right. We witnessed at the wedding. That's right. Praise the Most High. They got married during the Memorial Day weekend. That's right. So please remember Brother Lonnie and remember cousin Nicole, Brother Walter's cousin Nicole, in a coma, very bad accident. That the Most High will be with her and with the doctors and with the hospital, and let the angels be next to her as well. Thank you all. Praise the Most High. Till we meet again. Shalom.